School administrators and teachers, what is your weirdest or naughty thing you've caught a student doing? Our high school head teacher walked into our form room during break and found one of my classmates lying on a desk with her shirt pulled up while another was standing over with a sewing needle about to attempt to give her a belly button piercing. They tried to pass it off as a tickle fight but wound up in detention anyway. Starting off real weird. I like it. Good. Eating strips of neon pink paper to see if it had a different flavor than white paper. Freshman in high school. Sucking pepperoni slices to get the protein out, the white spots of fat. Senior in high school. Shoving Oreos up their butt in the boys' bathroom. I didn't catch them, they admitted it to me. Seniors in high school. Buying clean urine from a homeless in a water bottle and using it for a drug test in the boys' bathroom. Sophomore in high school. Shirt on, pants down around ankles, washing his genitals in the sink of the male restroom at a campground on a school-wide camping trip. Parent chaperone. I used to work in special needs, and I caught a student vigorously masturbating to Jafar from Aladdin. Oh, I love how your foul little mind works. Well, I teach adults, and I teach writing. Erotica is one of the topics we cover. So, having one of my students send me her Pokemon erotic fanfic and having to read through it, it wasn't bad, though. Good hanky-panky scenes. Not a teacher, but when I was a sophomore in high school, this kid in my history class kept asking the teacher to go to the bathroom. She said yes, but the kid wanted to bring his book bag with him. She asked him why, and he wouldn't give an answer. So she told him to put it back. Kid gives up on going to the bathroom and just sits down. Teacher looked suspicious, but let it go. A few minutes later, kid is looking into his book bag and moving things around, trying not to be noticed, but literally everyone did. Teacher yells at him for acting weird and asks him what's in his bag. He refused to answer, but I think everyone thought he was hiding drugs. Teacher calls the school office down to the class, and the kid freaks out. Tried to leave the room, won't give up his backpack, yelling and cursing. Finally, school officer gets the bag from the kid, opens it, and finds a stack of porno mags. Kid was trying to leave class to beat his meat. Good lord, I don't think I've ever been that horned up in my life. Also, you would think if the guy was that amped up to wank, he could have managed without the adult magazines. Masturbating in class. Some guys just can't keep it in their pants. When I was a TA, I found a freshman high schooler drawing furry adult entertainment on a school computer. Later in college, I had to sit behind another girl who always drew furry adult entertainment during our morning lectures. Not a teacher, but in high school English class, a dude was watching adult entertainment at the back of the class, while the boy in the striped pajama shower scene played on the screen at the front. Not a teacher, but when I was in school, the chem lab professor caught a boy inserting a test tube up his butt. Let me tell you all about guys giving each other head in the restroom in an all-boys school. I had a few friends that went to a different high school, and they told me of two boys were caught giving each other blowjobs in some area of the school. This was last year, and I don't remember where they got caught. The real kicker was that neither of them were gay, and the guy who was giving the blowjob was doing it in exchange for a half-eaten chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A and a container of dip. Needless to say, it was a big topic in my town at the time. Even though I would give a BJ just because it's fun, I would never do it for some lousy Chick-fil-A. Yeah, come at me, Chick-fil-A fans. Your sandwiches aren't worth me doing something I like doing. Not administration, but one time in class, I looked over at another kid's laptop, and he went to close all of his tabs one by one, and a good 90% of them were hentai. When I was a TA for a local high school, I saw some weird stuff. The administration let a lot of obvious bullying happen. My class was an early childhood education class. There was one boy I'd seen him in the morning, and then when he came into class 6th period, he was wearing a completely different outfit. Turns out some of the other students, boys and girls, were dressing him up in humiliating clothes and straight up abusing him. I got them one time and immediately reported it. When I reported it to the school administration, they terminated my TA program. Not a teacher, but this dude in my grade was caught by a teacher eating his girlfriend out in the hallway during class, which sounds cool, but they were both kinda gross. Edit, a word. A student of mine pooped herself in class. I felt so bad for her. She immediately ran out, and after everyone had the smell hit them, we all put it together. Got her before she walked back in and just told her to go to the nurse, obviously one-on-one where no one could hear. But frick, it smelled so bad and it frickin' lingered. Edit. High school, by the way. It just wouldn't be one of these threads without at least one story involving poop, would it? I feel just awful for that girl, though. That is the kind of thing that sticks with you. I taught Sunday school when I was 15 to 16 to earn the good boy points so people didn't look too closely at my unchristian personal life. I once caught a kid, maybe 6 or 7, eating a Bible, literally tearing out pages and eating it. There were several pages missing, and the only page I found was the one he was working on when I caught it. Not that I really expected a reasonable explanation, but we never made it past, I don't know, when I tried to figure out why he was eating a book. It actually sounds like the boy might have been suffering from pica, a disorder that causes people to have the urge to eat non-food items, and paper is a pretty common one. Girl giving a handy-dandy to a guy in the last 5 minutes of class while people watched. Not at school, but with people from my class. Last year of middle school equivalent. We were all 14 to 15. Some guys fricked this girl. 5 guys went to her house after school, got into a line, and fricked her. The next day, her parents showed up to school with a list of the guys asking for them so they could clear things up. I was close to one of them. At first, I doubted it was true, but the level of detail and how all of them told the same story made me believe it was true. I'm pretty sure one of my students had a hand in his pocket and was rubbing one out during the middle of class. Nobody noticed, but it sure made me give him a double take. Kindergartner peeing on a floor-to-ceiling mirror with his pants around his ankles. The mirror was in the bathroom. Apparently, he just wanted to watch from a different angle. Caught a group of 4th graders, boys and girls, performing hanky-panky acts on each other in the bathroom during recess. They weren't having intercourse, but the girls were touching the genitals of the boys, so we could only assume it was going to escalate. I'm not either. We all found out that a student was giving another one a BJ in the boys' locker room. Not admin, but here we go. And hold on to your horses, this is a wild one. And before you comment that it's fake, I can assure you it's not. When I was around 13, I had a thing where instead of a fight or flight response, I would just freeze up. I have a fight response now. I was in after-school care as I was young and my parents would work till like 6 p.m. School ended at 3 p.m. I went to the bathroom and an ex-friend of mine followed too. I do not remember his age, but he was around 10 or so. We are both males. This is important. I go to a urinal and he goes to the one next to me. I thought nothing of it as we were friends. We both finish up and then he asks me how big was my pee-pee. I immediately got uncomfortable and started trying to separate myself. He follows me, then pins me up to the wall. This kid may have been 10, but he could throw a powerful punch and I was a weak kid, so I froze instantly. He grabs my pee-pee and starts jerking me off, getting hard in the process, rubbing his pee-pee up against my leg. He gets close to finishing, and that's when I bolted. I got to a teacher and told them what happened. They didn't believe me. I ended up switching schools as he kept trying to pull the same stunt over and over again. I hate when teachers don't believe kids with this kind of stuff. That is how you mess a kid up, adults. Why would you just immediately assume they would make up something that awful about a friend of theirs? Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day. Not a teacher, but I had a classmate in high school who had a live goldfish in a water bottle and chugged it. Not a teacher, but a girl in my school gave birth to a baby in the restroom and tried to flush it down. My teacher caught this kid in our class masturbating to the Romeo and Juliet movie. Teacher here, I have had students who have eaten boogers in front of their classmates and teachers. Student who pooped himself during class. Student who took off his pants in front of the rest of the class. Students who thought it would be fun to fart on candle flame and hope that it would result in explosions. I would like to add that all these situations took place at high school. Took place at high school and clearly not in an English class. No English teacher would have published this rough draft. One year in high school, a couple of girls put used tampons in the locker of another girl they were trying to get back at, and they did it on the last day of class before a long weekend. It smelled to high heaven when school resumed. Also, it wasn't hard to break into lockers at my school. In middle school, a couple of girls got busted giving piercings in the bathroom. They were using a sewing pin and rubbing alcohol, so it certainly could have been a lot worse. A guy in high school got busted for smoking weed in the football locker room across campus on the last day of school. He ended up getting expelled and missed his senior season of football. There were concession stands inside part of my high school for athletic events and stuff in the auditorium. Some kids figured out that they could get into the concession stand by going through the drop ceiling in the bathroom right next to it, then over the wall. In kindergarten, a girl went into the bathroom and taped her eyelids shut with packing tape. then stumbled back into the classroom screaming in a panic that it hurt too much to take the tape back off. Not a teacher, but two freshmen decided to have fully naked hanky-panky on the floor of the nastiest bathroom in the whole school, and of course, someone caught it on camera. I had a girl give me head in the bleachers once. I caught a kid wanking it to Paw Patrol. One time in math class, I got really worried and started freaking out and breathing heavily, and my hands were under my desk, and I'm pretty sure everyone thought I was jacking off. Not a teacher, but back in high school, we had a girl make a solo adult film for a guy she wanted to get with. She sent it to him. He sent it to friends. They sent it to friends. On it went. The following week, everyone in our year had seen it. She had to be taken out of classes, and her parents called in because everyone was watching it. We also had another girl cover her genitals in peanut butter and let her dog lick it off. She was super gross. I've never had peanut butter since. Okay, for the first part, that boyfriend should be friggin' sued or something. That is just gross and crappy to do to someone. And second, shame on that person for ruining peanut butter for anyone. Peanut butter is amazing. How dare she? Not a teacher, but one kid was doing the dirty with himself and two girls noticed, so they confronted him after class. He brushed it off and ran away. Not exactly what you're asking, but similar. Back in my freshman biology class, there was a couple, K and B. Everyone knew they were an item, even the teachers. They even sat next to each other and did their projects together, sort of like a power couple. Really cool kids. One day, our teacher stopped the presentation in a horror when she saw them sitting next to each other while taking notes and freaked out a bit. She walked over and saw that K and B were just sitting in their seats holding hands. She breathed a sigh of relief as she said, "Oh good, I thought you were sitting on K's lap, B. Yeah, you can't do that." All of us laughed. Not a teacher, but in middle school, they expelled an 8th grader who was caught having hanky-panky in the boys' bathroom with a high school senior. Ugh. When I was in 7th grade, a couple was caught fingering each other. I repeat, 7th grade. I entered my classroom almost an hour earlier than usual and found one male and one female student inside. He was laying on the floor and she was standing in front of him, taking off her bra. She immediately fixed it and tried to put her shirt on and storm out of the classroom. As they didn't actually do anything, I just lecture them on not doing it on school grounds. Not a teacher, but had a girl give a blowjob about 15 seats away in my row to some dude. Our class was only about 50 people. They weren't even subtle. No longer a teacher and never in the U.S. Probably our drama teacher when he kissed a student in the middle of class. He was fired but never charged. Last I heard, he worked at Costco. What a creepy fricker he was. Had a student suspended for throwing a used condom at someone else in class. Talking to a goat. Yes, a freaking goat. He tried to talk to a goat. Now, the naughty here is he asked to try to seduce the goat into fricking him. Why is there a goat in your school? Also, what? A couple of year 10 U.S. juniors fricking doggy style in a stairwell. Mostly clothed, thank God, but it was, awkward. A colleague noticed a number of boys, 13 years, going to the bathroom one after another and giggling on their return. Upon investigation, it transpired that the first one had taken a dump on the lid of the toilet seat and was sending his mates in to admire it. He had no explanation for it, and no, he didn't have special needs, was in fact very smart. This still holds the record of the weirdest what the F story in the staff room. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.